Omni-Edition Sports presents from Garden City High School in Garden City, Michigan, Cougar basketball. Tonight, the Garden City Cougars take on the Annapolis Cougars. Hi, everybody. Dan York along with Jeremy Jenkins as we get ready to bring you this Western Wayne Athletic Conference girls basketball game. And Jeremy, these two teams, and Annapolis starting 3 seniors, Garden City starting only 1 senior, and a lot of underclassmen on this Garden City basketball team.
Very true. We only have 4 returning players for the Garden City squad this year after they lost 6 players to graduation last year. On the flip side, Annapolis has 7 seniors on their roster. So as you said, big difference in experience and just overall basketball knowledge when it comes to these 2 teams.
Annapolis has struggled. Garden City have struggled this year. Annapolis with only 3 wins. Garden City looking for their first win. So this is the kind of game that you hope Michelle Tyree can get her girls up for. They played a very good game against Edsel Ford, even though the score doesn't reflect that. They played about as well as they could play. They ended up losing by 20 points because they got away from them in the 4th quarter. But believe it or not, that's a game they can build on, even though it was a 20-point loss.
Absolutely, and that's something that a coaching staff will talk to you about during the week of practice as you go through. You hope to build positive momentum. Even if you're not in games at the end, you can still take positive signs away from your performance. And as you're saying, hopefully that's something that Coach Tyree was able to do.
Let's take a look at the starters for both teams. For Annapolis, it'll be Ramseur, Reese, Roberts, Domer, and Johnson. Again, 3 seniors in that starting lineup for Annapolis. And for the Cougars, Haley Mazatix, the lone senior in the starting lineup for Garden City. Alyssa Sanner there, Emma Gosden. Gosden is a sophomore, as is Sanner. Alex Adams, the junior of that squad. And then Jalen Banks, starting at a guard position, is a freshman, number 34 for Garden City. Lynn Ward now with 10 years as head coach of the Annapolis Cougars. Michelle Tyree in her 6th year as the varsity coach. We're ready to tip it off. 32 will be there for Garden City. That is Alex Adams. And a 33, Ivory Johnson will jump it up. She is the leader in points per game for Annapolis with 10. She'll jump it up for the Annapolis Cougars.
And we're expecting Ivory Johnson to be quite a matchup problem for the Cougar squad tonight, as she's 6'1", and Garden City doesn't really have anyone quite that tall. But we are expecting her to be a presence on the inside.
There's a shot from the outside for the Cougars by Sanner, and we've got a travel call as Garden City will turn it over. We had a great finish to the junior varsity basketball game. Garden City coming away with a win over Annapolis, getting the lead late in the 4th quarter and able to hold on. This is Emma Gosden on the dribble as she cuts through to the key. Mazatix, the senior, pushes it down low to Gosden. Gosden with the air ball. Rebound for Annapolis. Adams there to try to apply some pressure, but unsuccessful.
And that was
go ahead.
That was a good job by Gosden to get herself open without the ball. If you are not handling the ball at the time, you constantly need to be moving if you're one of the Cougars players.
Reese, one of those freshmen, throws it off the bracket, does not go in, still no score. 50 seconds of basketball played here at Garden City High School. Jalen Banks, the freshman, on the dribble. And Mazatix with a long pass to Sanner. She gives it right back to Gosden. Gosden shoots the 3. Another air ball for Emma. Kept in by Mazatix, but she stepped out of bounds. And it will be the Annapolis Cougars basketball. 2 of the teams that will remain in the Western Wayne Athletic Conference after this season, with Edsel, Dearborn, Fordson, and Belleville all jumping ship. 3 of those 4 going to the Kensington Lakes, and Edsel Ford going to the Downriver League with the likes of Melvindale and Annapolis.
Right, so some of the serious competition in the current Wayne Western Conference is going to disappear after this year, so we expect Garden City to become quite the contender here, hopefully, in upcoming years.
Well, from a competitive standpoint, it'll obviously help with football. It will help with basketball.
Correct.
Where it won't help are teams like softball that need better competition, really, than what the Western Wayne Athletic Conference will have to offer after this season. Mazatix off the iron, won't go, but Garden City with the rebound. That is Sanner. She's got Mazatix. Gosden shooting the 3. She can't find her touch yet. That's 2 air balls and 1 skim of the rim. A jump ball called, and it will be Annapolis's ball, or as Willie Sand used to call it, Annapolis.
But Gauzen is the player that Garden City is looking to lean on early to get some early buckets. And she's getting the shot attempts, but so far she hasn't been able to connect on anything.
Into the middle to Johnson. Johnson with a definite height advantage over everybody else on the floor right now. Roberts from the outside. Roberts banks a deuce off the glass. She has the first points of the game for either team. And the freshman fires it ahead to Mazatix. 34 Banks has gotten a lot of starts this year and a lot of minutes. And this will help in her development as a basketball player. Figure 4 years on the floor of the varsity as you see Mazatix. No foul called there. It will be Garden City's ball out of bounds, but you figure 4 years, mostly as a starter for Banks, and you're going to have quite a basketball player by her senior year.
And that's what you look for when you have sophomores and freshmen up on the varsity team. You're usually not bringing them up to sit on the bench.
Right.
If they have potential and you want to be able to develop them, as you said with Banks. So definitely she's a player to watch in the upcoming years.
Neither Annapolis or Garden City have freshman teams. So they either play on the junior varsity or on the varsity. Maybe a missed travel call there, lucky for Garden City. As Banks pulls it down, let's see, this is a loose ball. Gosden battling along with Annapolis, and here comes Ramseur. Ramseur gave it to an unsuspecting Reese. Mazatix, this might be a place for a timeout. We do not get one. And that goes right off of Annapolis out of bounds, and a break for Garden City. I thought Michelle Tyree might call a timeout once Mazatix got trapped against the baseline. She shoveled it out. Annapolis had the ball, but then they lost it out of bounds.
And that was a good break for Garden City because they recovered very well on their transition defense there when Annapolis had a fast break.
And Mazatix is fouled as she tries to come over half court. And that'll be on 25, a Domer, her first, and a team first. Matter of fact, first foul for either team in this game. Haley Mazatix, the senior, kicks it out to Banks. Banks from the three-point line gets it to go. Jalen Banks with a 3.
And just as we were talking about her too, Dan, she's another player, along with Gosden, that Garden City is looking to get involved in the offense.
Fed into the middle to Johnson. Shot from down low was Reese. And another jump ball, but this time Garden City's possession.
Garden City's possession.
So Annapolis looks like they're going to apply pressure as Garden City tries to bring it up. Interrupting the flow even on the inbound, gives it to Gosden, who really wasn't expecting it. Banks to Mazatix. Mazatix comes baseline. Mazatix is fouled. And she will shoot 2. So Mazatix will go to the line for Garden City.
And those are the types of plays that coaches love to see as well. Getting shots in close to the basket, high percentage looks, forcing the other team to foul you, and then going to the free throw line.
Mazatix shooting 51% from the stripe. She's second best on the team. Doesn't get the roll there.
You want it? Go. One try, let's go. Play the miss, one time.
Dan York along with Jeremy Jenkins as you see Mazatix make the second one. And the Cougars with a 4-2 lead. Does not go there for Annapolis.
And there we see the size of Ivory Johnson coming into play as she was able to get the easy offensive rebound over a host of Cougars and go up for her own putback attempt, and she was fouled in the process.
So Johnson will shoot 2. Adams picks up her first foul of the evening. Johnson averaging 10 points a game for Coach Lynn Ward and his Annapolis Cougars. Misses the front end for substitution of the game, and Hannah Fleenery will come into the game now. Nothing there for Annapolis, and Gosden with the rebound. Pushed ahead to Mazatix, and she'll let everybody catch up. Mazatix dribbling with that right hand. Stops short, gives it to Gosden. Gosden inside the three-point arc. Does not get it to drop. 3-on-1 situation there for Garden City. Gosden thought about it, goes across court. Banks also thought about the open three.
Looked like she had a really good look at it, too.
Garden City sets up their offense.
That was something I talked to Coach Tyree about before the game, is they were going to run a half-court offense in this game, try and work the defense a bit and get some good open looks.
Mazatix with the air ball. Gosden hustling after it, can't keep it in for Garden City. And the ball will go to the Annapolis Cougars. Garden City leading 4-2 with 2:58 remaining here in the quarter. This is Reese. Roberts in the middle. Nice pressure by the Cougars. Fleenery off the glass, but it's hard. Gosden chasing after it, but it was touched last by Domer, and it will be Garden City's ball. Subbing in now for the Cougars is Cameron Chavez.
It looked like Gosden might have gotten away with a loose ball foul on that call, too.
Banks will check out for Garden City, as that will go off of Haley Mazatix. I wasn't sure if that went off Annapolis or us. Our officials say it was off of Garden City as Mazatix picks up the steal. Sloppy basketball by both teams right now. Mazatix on the bounce pass. She tried to hit Alex Adams, but Adams had gone on the move, and Adams is called on the reach-in foul. So Adams picks up her second foul. 2 on Garden City. And Amanda Knoll will come into the game now for Garden City, and Adams will have to sit down with 2.
And Knoll might be Garden City's best answer for Ivory
There's a
Johnson.
steal by Gosden. She lost a little momentum when she couldn't get it to go straight to the hole. And Mazatix will wait for Garden City's offense to catch up. Here's Gosden. She's going to shoot that three again. Just short. Pounding the boards down there is Knoll. Throws it up, doesn't get the basket. Rebound, Ivor Johnson and Garden City, and Annapolis rather. So Reese on the dribble. Roberts off the bracket, doesn't go. Loose ball put back by Annapolis. That one doesn't go, and still the Cougars with the ball. That one doesn't go, and Knoll there with the board. One thing that I've seen Garden City's all of their home games, and they've had a lot of home games early on. Knoll on that baseline, if they can feed her on the baseline, she's pretty much unstoppable. Now normally she's on the right side rather than the left side. But they get her the ball on the baseline, and there's not a lot of teams that can stop her. Mazatix off the iron, doesn't go. Gosden had a hand on it for a second, and Annapolis with the board. Hustling back for Garden City is Chavez to play defense. That does not go for 31 Fleenery.
And Knoll is probably the best answer for Johnson on the other end. She has the ability to corral the rebounds as well, and like you were saying, those baseline shots that she is able to shoot, she hits most of them.
Roberts with the basket shot that does not go. Gosden kicks it out. Sanner in and out. Good opportunity for Sanner. One-on-one developing here. This is Reese. Reese right side doesn't get it, but she is fouled by Chavez. And Reese will get to shoot 2.
That was a smart foul by Chavez on that as well, especially in transition. You don't want to give up any easy baskets if you're Garden City. You want to make them earn it every time they go up for a shot.
So the Cougars with 3 fouls. So Reese will shoot 2. Misses the first. Wholesale substitutions now. There you see the foul.
One shot, here we go, one.
4-2, Garden City on top. It's been that way for a while. Now it's 4-3. So I jinxed it.
That's okay, Dan.
Thanks, I appreciate it. There's where Garden City's had trouble all year getting the ball over half court, and a little bit of confusion when they push it down half court. As you see that one put up by Knoll. She's battling underneath for it. They'll get the jump ball. It will be Annapolis possession. But nice job by Knoll underneath.
That's what you love to see if you're a coaching staff too, is when players give that extra effort, just will do anything to try and get the ball.
Short, Banks with the rebound, and the quarter will run out. So Garden City with a 1-point lead, 4-3, as they head into the second quarter. Obviously, both teams struggling to score, both teams struggling to keep the basketball.
Correct. It hasn't been very pretty in terms of the ball handling, but so far what we've seen from Garden City is they're attempting a lot of outside shots, and that's never really bodes well when you're not hitting them. So they need to look to start getting more shots at the basket.
And if Gausden can find her range and start to hit the three,
absolutely,
then she can take over this basketball game. As always, we want to thank Lori and all of our friends at Sports Venue. They are food service providers for GCTV and Omni Edition Sports, located kitty corner from Garden City High School at the corner of Ford and Maplewood, with amazing pizza, wings, drink specials, trivia, all kinds of charity events there almost every night. And they always have opportunities for folks in Garden City to raise money for their different charities, including athletics here at Garden City High School. So again, our thanks to Lori, Jim, Matt, everybody at Sports Venue, located at the corner of the Middle Belt and Maplewood. So check them out. So second quarter action here at Garden City High School. Dan York along with Jeremy Jenkins, Omni Edition Sports, GCTV. This is Gausden with the right-handed dribble inside to Knoll. Knoll with the 4 blue jerseys between her and the basket. Chavez to Banks, and a steal by Annapolis. This is Reese. Reese gets around Banks. Reese with the right hand, doesn't get it to go, and Banks pulls down the rebound. So nice job by Banks after the turnover to get the ball back for Garden City. Gausden is just going to shoot that three. She has not met a shot she doesn't like yet tonight.
She found it, and she likes it.
She's just got to find her range.
She will, and eventually those will start to fall as well.
Reese with the runner off the iron. Knoll there with the rebound.
An interesting shakeup here from Annapolis on defense, a bit pressuring back near the basket. They've been playing a 2-3 zone so far, and Garden City's been having trouble dissecting it so far.
Knoll tried to put it on the wood, couldn't keep it. There's a battle underneath, a jump ball call, and it will go back to Annapolis since Garden City had it on the quarter change. Mazadek's back into the game for Garden City, and Gausden will sit a spell. And also Chassie Terrell comes into the game for Garden City. Here's the play that turned into the jump ball. You see Knoll just had a little trouble with the basketball, and eventually Sanner wrestled in a jump ball, but it was Annapolis possession. So Annapolis with the dribble now. And turnover. Garden City, loose ball now on the floor. We're going to get another jump ball, and Garden City's possession.
Both teams are struggling to hold on to the ball so far in this game.
And I think Lynn Ward for Annapolis wants a 30-second timeout. And one of his assistants, I believe this is Danielle Dixon, out talking to the 5 starters on the floor. Our thanks to Garrett Simpson and Michelle Tyree for helping us with stats and information for tonight's game to make tonight's telecast possible, along with Lynn Ward from Annapolis, who we've worked with before, and we thank him for getting us some information on his team also. He's also the softball coach, as you see Michelle Tyree, who graduated herself from Garden City High School in 1990. She played for Marshall Henry, who coached here for about 20 years. Marshall also coached at Garden City West. Garden City gets it over. This is Mazadek's. Bounce pass to Sanner. Wow, I'm not sure why Sanner didn't take it to the hole, but there's Mazatix on the follow through. She has 3 and Garden City leads by 3, 6-3. Sanner, as you see the turnover there, Sanner probably wanted to try to take that right to the hoop.
It was, but it seemed like she heard some footsteps coming behind her, and then she needed to get the ball up.
Well, they all had to come from behind her because everybody else was trailing the play.
Agreed. It's
a
mental error, but it turned into a bucket.
That's right.
Turned into a bucket.
Turnover for Garden City. We're not even going to count the turnovers tonight because there are plenty. Enough for everyone to share with. Roberts. And another turnover. Takes it all the way to the hoop, but she is fouled. It will not be a shooting foul. So Garden City will get it out of bounds. So that's Ramseur's first. Second for Annapolis, as we have some substitutions. So Sanner will inbound for the Cougars. Bounce pass into Mazatix. Mazatix in position but couldn't finish it. Mazatix, nice job to keep it in bounds, but Annapolis ends up with the loose ball. This is Fleenery. Fleenery off the high glass, comes all the way back out to the top of the key, and Johnson from the side. That won't go for Fleenery. Out of bounds, and Annapolis ball. And Gosden will come back in for Garden City and try to settle things down as Banks will check out. Nope. Michelle Tyree says, nope, give me Sanner instead. So Johnson on the inbound, and she got it back on a designed play. And I believe this is an over the back on Terrell. I'm not sure. It is, so her first, team fourth. And right into the hands of Terrell. Here's Mazatix. Mazatix, nice bounce pass to Gosden. Gosden doesn't get the roll. Loose ball, Mazatix gets it. She just threw it right at the glass, and Garden City will call it in. No shot clock, so
no shot clock.
No reason to rush that.
No, take as much time as you need, and Mazatix felt that she needed to get that shot up as quick as she could. But they were fortunate to get the ball back.
So Banks hoping to settle things down with a bounce pass back to Mazatix. Mazatix to shoot the 3. Gosden draws 2 defenders as that is knocked out of bounds by Ivory Johnson on the size mismatch right there.
And it's because of her that Garden City is having such difficulties getting easy shots at the rim.
Banks gets it in. Right off the inbound, won't go there for Terrell. It's out of bounds though, and it'll still be Garden City's ball.
So far we've seen Annapolis exclusively in that 2-3 zone, and the key to try and break that zone if you're Garden City is the inside player on your offensive set right at the free throw line.
So Gosden did not match up well there with Ivory, and there's a travel on the Annapolis side of the court. Substitutions now. Sarah Blevins, number 12, into the game for Annapolis. Might have been the first time she's been in the game. From the outside doesn't go. Putback doesn't go, but Terrell was fouled, and she will shoot 2.
That was a good job following up that missed shot as well. It feels like Garden City is really trying to force their shots so far in this game, instead of just taking their time and trying to find quality open looks.
Well, and it seemed to me in the last couple of games here at home, because Garden City just wasn't shooting the basketball enough, that the emphasis has been on taking more shots. And that's what Garden City has done here tonight, as they did against Etzel. It's had a pretty good basketball game against Etzel, even though a loss. So Reese comes back into the game now for Garden City. That one does not go for Terrell. Rebound Annapolis. As Garden City hustles back on D. Reese, guarded by Banks. has a little trouble with the dribble. But everybody's had a little trouble with the dribble here tonight.
As Annapolis has
Johnson
really
feeds
struggled
it underneath, and Johnson feeds it into Domer. Domer picks up her first bucket, and Annapolis pulls within 1. Banks, this is where Garden City gets into trouble right here, this little mid-court trap. Reese right back over, and an opportunity for Domer to put Annapolis ahead. She doesn't do it. From the top of the key, that is an air ball, kept in nicely though by Annapolis.
Annapolis has a quick trigger so far too. They're taking pretty much every shot they can as soon as they see a sliver of an opening.
And a jump ball on the floor as we see everybody hit the deck. And Domer will inbound. And Zadix with the board. 3 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in the first half. Garden City with a 1-point lead. Gosden from the free throw line. Emma Gosden can't get it to go. Putback doesn't go for Terrell, but it's out of bounds as it goes off of Annapolis.
The Cougars are doing a really good job at getting a lot of offensive rebounds as well. They're following their shots, and that's something I didn't really expect to be the case as much with Ivory Johnson in the paint.
Mazadix hits the 3. Haley Mazadix with 6 points and gives Garden City a 4-point lead. Almost knocked away there by Banks. Mazadix, finally somebody on the Cougars finds that 3 range other than Banks. We've got a jump ball and Garden City's possession.
And now's a chance for Garden City to extend the lead heading towards the locker room as we approach halftime.
Zadix has Chavez. Chavez straddling that half-court line, and that's what I talked about earlier. The Cougars struggle sometimes getting that ball over. Gosden gets the rebound. Zadix want Gosden in motion. Banks from the outside, and Banks hits another 3. So Jalen Banks with 6 points, and Garden City out to a 7-point lead.
It was only a matter of time until those shots started to fall. They were shooting them early and often, and now they are starting to go in.
And if they can get Gosden to hit one, then I think they'll be in business here tonight as you see Mazadix come up with the steal.
Garden City can take as much time as they want now, looking for a good clean shot with the lead. No reason to rush or force anything.
Stolen away by Reese. Reese, man on man there, gets it to, no, it rolls off the rim, and that putback goes for Annapolis. So Johnson with her first point of the night, and a 5-point lead for Garden City. Substitutions coming in for both of these squads. Kicked out to Banks. Banks feeling it, but that one was deflected. Battle underneath, loose ball. And Johnson ends up with it. This is Reese. Nice pick set there, but a steal by Garden City. Terrell with the steal. I think it was Domer that set the pick. Nice job, but didn't work out for Annapolis. Bounce pass into Terrell.
And then the passing for both teams has been a struggle so far in this first half.
Gosden on the bounce. And knocked away by Johnson, but Garden City keeps it. Gosden from about the free throw line doesn't get it to go. She can't catch a break. Jump ball, Annapolis possession. Gosden has had some pretty good shots not go in. Sander will come in for Garden City.
She has had some pretty good looks. It looked like she might have put that one up a little prematurely. But she is definitely getting off her shot attempts. And as I was saying, those should definitely start to fall.
Rasmussen and Roberts into the game now for Annapolis. You see that just would not go for Gosden. Reese in traffic. Ramseur on the pass down low. Nice job there by Terrell to shut down the lane. And we've got a foul on the floor against Garden City.
And that's something you don't want to see if you're Garden City coaching staff. And not
so
sure
Banks
that
picks up her first. 5 on Garden City. Domer at the line. She misses the front end. Domer with 2 points tonight. She's a senior. She misses that one. Garden City with the rebound. That was Gosden.
she just throws it.
So we go to the half with Garden City leading by a score of 12-7. We will be back with first half stats and second half action from Garden City High School right after you watch this.
Welcome, Judge Mathis. Thanks for coming to share an important message with the Wayne County taxpayers.
Well, thank you for allowing me to help. You know, most of my life I was a resident of Wayne County, and so I'm here to help because Treasurer Chabris wants to work with Wayne County homeowners to keep families in their homes and prevent foreclosure.
If you're having trouble making your property tax payments, let us know. We have many resources to help.
Take the first step towards staying in your home by going down to the Wayne County Treasurer's office on the 5th floor of the International Building in Greektown.
Stop by today to learn more about our payment plans and especially the newly extended interest rate reduction program.
Already in the payment plan? It's important you stay in good standing.
Making property tax payments is now easier than ever. We have placed payment kiosks in Rite Aid stores and community centers across the county. We've also added kiosks in our offices. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com.
Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe me, 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 just watch. Hey, 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 oh!
Garden City Civic Arena is located at Garden City Park at the corner of Cherry Hill and Merriman. The Civic Arena offers programs for people of all ages and abilities. Kids and adults can learn to skate or play hockey through programs offered by the Garden City Figure Skating Club and Garden City Hockey Association. Glow skating on Saturday night is a great way to spend a fun evening with family and friends. The arena offers a wide assortment of skate rental, and the snack bar is available during all hours of operation and has all your favorites. The arena is home to the Garden City Men's Over 30 Hockey Association and also runs a Sunday men's league for adults 19 and up. The Garden City Figure Skating Club offers private lessons for boys and girls of all ages. Drop-in hockey, sticks and pucks, and open skating are offered weekly at the arena. The rink has a party room available for birthdays and special meetings. Call 734-793-1882 to book the room. For more information, visit gcicearena.com.
Back here at Garden City High School, the Cougars leading Annapolis by a score of 12-7. Haley Mazatix with 7 points. 6 points rather for Garden City in the first half, along with Jalen Banks with 6 points. All of the scoring for Garden City coming from those two players. Reese with 1 point for Annapolis in the first half. Domer with 2 and Roberts with 3. And we've seen a ton of turnovers by both teams, but we've seen a Garden City team more willing to shoot the basketball, and some of those balls are starting to go in the basket.
Absolutely. Both teams are struggling to make their shots, even though they're shooting in high volumes. But towards the end of the half, we started to see those shots fall for Garden City. And what we're looking for here is Gosden for Garden City starting to hit a lot of those shots. She's taken a lot. She's one of the better players on Garden City. They're trying to get her going, and she's struggled thus far in this game.
Gosden gives it to Adams, who's back in the game. Adams had been on the bench with 2 fouls. As you see Mazatix take that shot. Gosden with the rebound. Off the bracket, won't go. Loose ball, battle for it. And Annapolis comes up with it. This is Roberts. 5-point lead for Garden City. Roberts almost traveled there. Reese. Cross court to Ramseur. She's one of the freshmen that started on this Annapolis team today. You see Johnson take the shot. Mazatix just holds her ground there as Domer unable to get it up. And I guess a foul on Garden City.
It looked like a lot of ball on that shot attempt by Avery Johnson, but I guess
Adams
the official
will go
saw
back
different.
to the bench because that's her third foul, and Knoll will come back in. So Ivory Johnson will go to the line now and shoot 2. Tough break for Garden City. A lot going on underneath there. Johnson gets that one to go. She has 3. And Alex Adams checks out.
I'm really curious to see how Garden City responds to playing with the lead so far in this game. They've struggled thus far this season to really compete in their games up until last week against Edsel Ford. So they're playing with the lead in this game, getting closer towards the end of it. I'm interested to see how they handle the pressure.
So Banks gives it to Gosden, who gets cut off. Press now by Annapolis. Garden City tries to break it, throws it ahead to Sander. Sander tips it over to Knoll. Knoll will get called for the travel. And did everything right except that little slide step.
And that pass by Sander, or it wasn't really a pass. She was trying to save it from going out of bounds. Perfect right to Knoll. But yeah, just that quick little error cost him the bucket.
Ramseur has it stolen away by Gosden. Gosden right side. Emma Gosden off the glass. And Emma Gosden finally gets out of the scoreboard. It's up 14-8.
Doesn't get any easier than that.
Gosden goes for the steal again. Does a good job of keeping it in. She's got a one-on-one. Goes to the left side now. Does not get the roll. Rebound Annapolis. And all by herself here is Johnson. And Johnson bricks it. And then she puts it in. So Johnson, with a little pressure from behind, wasn't able to get it to fall, but she kept her calm there. As you see Knoll with the pass to Mazatix. Mazatix with a hard one. And rebound Annapolis. Mazatix with a couple of hard shots tonight. One of them went. From three-point land, won't go for Reese. Out of bounds. Garden City's ball.
We're starting to see that quick pace from both teams again. And you have to wonder if there are going to be some more sloppy passes coming as well, as we see the full court press from Annapolis.
Oh! That's over and back, as that went right off of Knoll's foot. Shot right over to Gosden, and it was either over and back or offsides. Either way, it's Annapolis' ball. So Annapolis down by 4.
You got a size mismatch there with Johnson. Was being guarded by Banks, but got some help defense from Knoll on that. As
Roberts into Johnson, and a turnover for Annapolis. Pushed ahead to Gosden. Gosden will slow it down. She'll shoot the 3. Short. Loose ball. Banks with it. Mazatix with a bounce pass to Gosden, and Michelle Tyree will call timeout. Kind of helter-skelter right there.
They're getting good looks, and they're just not falling so far. Again, Gosden had a wide open shot. She just kind of short-armed it a little bit as we look down at the JV team getting a little animated.
They're happy. They got to win.
They are. They should be happy. They played an exciting game. It was a great game.
As we always say, we talk about the Annapolis upcoming games as they will take on a conference rival, Redford Union, 2 more times the rest of the season. Edsel Ford is also on their side of the Western Maine Athletic Conference. They've got a game against Clarenceville. They will travel to Annapolis and then take on Riverview, a non-conference game for Annapolis. So 3 wins so far for the Annapolis Cougars this year. Obviously, Coach Lynn Ward looking for more. Gosden feeds Knoll. Knoll kind of stuck there, bounce pass, taken away by Johnson. I think Knoll had a dribble.
It looked like she had the left side open in the paint, and she chose not to take it.
And all by herself, and with the basket is Maisha Reese. So Annapolis pulls within 2. Gosden double team. She needs some help. And Garden City just kind of standing around. Nobody aggressively trying to give her any help. Bounce pass from Knoll, and the easy for Alyssa Sander, who gets her City back up by 4. Garden City, you talked about playing with the lead. They're going to have to keep applying pressure and really just play like you're behind. Just keep hustling as a travel call there.
And pressure defense like that can be intimidating if you don't have any help coming, like Gosden was in a pickle there. But if you're able to get those passes out, you got wide open players all over the place. We saw the easy basket from Sander there. That's exactly how you want to break down pressure defense.
Silverthon into the game now for Annapolis. I believe this is the first time she's been in for Annapolis. And Banks will dribble through all kinds of blue jerseys right there. Kind of an ill-advised thing for her to do. As Annapolis will now try to make this a 3. And Roberts picks up her 5th point of the night. And Garden City, this press is giving them trouble.
It is. Really, if you have one player who has the ball that's getting pressured by 2 players, you need to deploy at least 2 of your own players to come and help them out if you can.
So Garden City will call a 30-second timeout as you see the basket there in Gosden on the foul. Garden City up by 2 with 4:03 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Started to talk about it before, though, our thanks to all of our volunteers here at Omni-Digital Sports and GCTV, who put all of these great community events on the cable or on Facebook or on YouTube, depending on where you find our programming. But we thank them, and we'll thank them all individually a little bit later on in the program. But we have 8 different people volunteering here this evening to help produce this basketball game at Garden City High School as we get a jump ball off of the rebound and Annapolis possession.
Looks like there might have been a little confusion on whose ball it actually was after that jump ball, but yes.
The Annapolis Cougars. And there's a offensive foul called on Roberts. I figured she'd just get called for the travel. She's offensive foul. First foul of the half for Annapolis, and Garden City again fighting this press. And here's Mazadix, and she's the one that probably will do the best job at solving that press. She can't get that layup to go, but she steals the ball back. This is to Gosden. Gosden hit from behind. Knoll underneath. Knoll goes up strong. Can't get it to fall. Knoll almost had the rebound. Loose ball on the floor. Lots of bodies there. Jump ball call. It is Garden City's possession.
Like the scrum down there for that ball on that possession, but Knoll had a couple good looks and a couple good attempts at the basket. She just wasn't able to connect them.
Chavez will go back into the game for Garden City as they'll inbound underneath. There you see the scrum ensue. Knoll with the basketball right now. Goes baseline. Bounce pass. Tried to get it to Chavez. But in her to steal it away was Ramsour. Ramsour pass into the middle. Stolen away by Garden City. Sander looking for help. Mazadix really the only one not intimidated by that press.
And that's your senior leadership right there. She's been on the team for quite a while, and she's seen pretty much everything that a team can throw at her.
Knoll from the top of the key gives it to Mazadix. Mazadix off the glass, can't get it to go. Rebound, Annapolis. Roberts over that Cougar paw at half court. Stop short. Reese around the pick. Reese doesn't get it to fall. Mazatix with the rebound, but it's a jump ball as Mazatix battles there with Silverthon, and it's possession Annapolis. So Fleenery will come back in for the Annapolis Cougars. Just short of the three-point line. That is an air ball. Ramseur with the rebound. Thrown up, doesn't go. Battle underneath. And we're going to have a foul on the floor. And that foul will go on Silverthon. That is her first. Team second. So Silverthon trying to draw that jump ball. Takes the brunt of that foul as she banged her head on the court when she went down. So she'll have a seat on the bench right now.
Let's take a look at
Banks inbounds, and trying to break the press there is Mazatix.
She did hit that her head really hard on that fall.
Mazatix into the corner. Chavez. Chavez gets it to go. Three. Big basket for Garden City. Back up by 5. Knocked away by Banks. And there's going to be a foul there on Reese. So Banks with the steal is fouled by Reese.
And 3 by Chavez is exactly what Garden City needed just at the right time. They were struggling to score so far in this third quarter, and that extended the lead back up to 5.
My mistake, the foul applied to Fleenery. I'll have to watch that back later. Mazatix on the dribble. Mazatix taking her time. Garden City with a 5-point lead and 1:40 remaining in the quarter. Banks, Garden City willing to take a little time now. Turnaround though, off the high glass. Garden City up by 7.
Great shot attempt there by Knoll.
And Annapolis calls timeout.
It was a bit of a quick trigger on that shot, but she was able to get it to go.
Reese had nobody to inbound the ball to. So wisely, Annapolis calls timeout to bail her out of that situation. Now, after the regular season ends, it's district time. Garden City will be at Wayne Memorial, and in their district will be Dearborn and Crestwood, who are from their conference, and then Churchill, Wayne Memorial, and John Glenn from the Kensington Lakes Conference. And those games will come up February 26th through March 2nd, 3 days of basketball at Wayne Memorial, and usually district you see some very good basketball.
Yes, and Wayne Memorial and John Glenn are definitely 2 of the better teams in this area at girls basketball. So hopefully you don't meet them early.
So there's the inbound, and still pressure from Sanner as Reese will dribble. Reese around the pick, runs right to Amanda Knoll. Nothing going to get her there. This is 24 Placenta, who was brought up after the season started. Out of bounds, 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining, as Johnson will do the inbounding. Interesting to see her inbound. Seems like she would be a much bigger help as the inboundee rather than the inbounder.
But there, it looked like a design play for her.
Design play, she comes right onto the floor.
Right in there and pass it into it and get the defense off guard.
Just seems like when you're struggling, you might want her to take that first pass.
Right, let's see if they do it again.
Up top to Domer. Reese played a pretty good basketball game. Underneath to Johnson. Johnson off the glass, doesn't get it to go, but she will shoot 2, as Garden City will pick up their 3rd team foul. Check that that's right, their 3rd team foul. Chavez with her 2nd. And Johnson will go to the line. She is 1 for 3 at the line.
And I'm surprised that they haven't leaned on her a bit more, especially on the offensive end. She has a great looking shot when it comes to the free throws, but she definitely has that height advantage that you would think that Coach Ward would be looking to exploit.
Madison David Somebody else must have come out because Chavez left the floor too, along with Knoll. Second one won't go. Rebound though by Placenta, and she falls out of bounds. Nice job by Mazanix just to hold her ground.
It was a good no call by the refs as well. Mazanix really didn't make any contact there, and she fell out of bounds, but she tried to sell it at the same time.
Right. And one of the things that's a little confusing is you see the travel call there. The blue line around the court is not out of bounds. There's a black line inside of the blue line, and that's a little tricky for some players to figure out where they're supposed to be.
Right, I can see where that would cause some confusion.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of how they painted that. Reese battling with Sander, jump ball, Garden City's possession. Garden City got a facelift on this floor about 5 years ago. Added the Cougar car center court.
What was there before?
A Cougar head with a from the original, from when the gym was built. It had Garden City Cougars around it, but it just started to look a little old-fashioned, a little dated. Mazanix, Sander, Banks thought about it. 22 seconds remaining, almost stolen there. Sander will shoot the three, off the glass, put back, goes! Garden City up by 8. Reese. Senna. Bounce pass to Jacobs, and time they run out before Wayne takes the shot, and Garden City goes into quarter number 4 with an 8-point lead, 23-15. And you got the answer to your question. Garden City increased their lead here in the third quarter.
Absolutely, and it was a little shaky there for a little bit. Annapolis had an opportunity to cut the lead to 1, and they failed to do so, and Garden City was able to take advantage of that.
In Corporate Graphics, located right across the street from Garden City High School, Jim Neve, we've talked about for years, the owner of that facility, and he provides the apparel for Omni Edition Sports and GCTV, and he has all kinds of great stuff there, but it's the custom work that they do. Visit them at incorporategraphics.com, incorporategraphics.com. Follow them on Facebook. Amazing some of the work they do, and with softball and baseball season coming up and all of the spring sports, they're the place to go to get your softball gear. And they, again, along with Sports Venue, they do an amazing job of donating within the community. And Jim Neve, who grew up in Garden City, his dad and his grandpa, both from Garden City. So our thanks to Jim Neve, everybody in corporate, Sharon G and Grande, all the great folks there that provide Omni Edition Television and GCTV with our great swag. Here comes Wayne Memorial. On the dribble is Reese.
Annapolis.
You were talking about Wayne Memorial before in their blue and gold jerseys. And there's the steal by Terrell.
That's all right.
I'm easily influenced. The old can be easily influenced.
That's all right. That's what I'm here for.
Gosden back into the game for Garden City. That one is blocked. Battle underneath, jump ball call, and it will go to Annapolis.
Good fight there from Terrell as well. She got right into the body of Ivory Johnson on that play. Was able to rip the ball away from her.
Damon's still in the game for Garden City too. She only came in about 3 minutes ago, and she stayed out there in his battle.
Coach Tyree likes what she's seen from her so far, and we'll see how much she utilizes her down the stretch.
A little backcourt pressure there from Sander. Gosden thought about going all out for the steal. Fed underneath to Johnson, and Johnson does not get the basket, but she will shoot 2, and this is something Garden City will have to try to avoid, is getting anybody into foul trouble. As Terrell picks up her second and 4 on Garden City, but you don't want Johnson.
And this is the time, like you were saying in the third quarter, where Garden City has to keep applying the pressure and playing as if they're behind. They can't get complacent with a lead in the fourth quarter and then seize the momentum.
So Johnson makes the front end. She's 3 of 6 tonight so far. High arcing free throw shot does not go. So you've got a lane violation, I believe, against Garden City. So Johnson will shoot again. Apparently Gosden stepped in too quick as the officials have a word with her.
It initially looked like they called it on Annapolis, but then our official down on this sideline reversed the call.
That's Joe Murnane that stepped in. And it pays off for Annapolis as Johnson makes the second one. And Annapolis back to the press. Banks struggles to get it in, does get it into Gosden. Gosden gets over the timeline, and Gosden loses the handle. Battle underneath, and it will be Annapolis ball. Gosden last. Good hustle by Emma Gosden.
And she had that pressure beat as well. She just wasn't able to hold on to the ball after she crossed half court.
Getting it over half court now is Reese. Reese thought about the shot, does take it. Thought she traveled. Putback doesn't go. Battle underneath. That's Banks. And Banks comes up with the rebound. Gives it to Gosden. Banks does not want to bring this up.
She's taking her time.
She definitely was the one in the best position to bring it up, and she gave it to Gosden, who was double teamed. So now Banks with control of the basketball. Garden City with a 6-point lead. And Banks a little careless with the dribble.
She needs help here.
Yeah, and she gets it. Here comes Damon. Too hard. Rebound Annapolis over the back, maybe on Terrell.
It almost looked like there might have been a little contact on Damon's shot attempt. That wasn't called as well.
So Terrell now with 3. 5 on Garden City. High school that it's still 2 halves. And it's 7 to get you into bonus, 10 to get you into double bonus. College now it's 5 1/4 for the women. Can't stand that rule. From the side, there is Meredith. Doesn't go, putback does go though. So Garden City is going to have to lift up their intensity level now. Banks. Gosden tries to set the pick for her. Banks goes sideline. Banks goes all the way baseline. And right there, Banks should have taken that shot to the hole herself. That's the inexperience right there. She's looking for that pass. There was no need for it as Mazatix comes in for Garden City now. And Madison Damon, who had a nice 4 or 5 minutes in the game, checks out.
So, yeah, and that's exactly what you said. It comes down to the inexperience of the freshman being out there. She's played really well tonight, but that's a point where she needs to put that shot up, even if you are going against the 6'1" Johnson.
Right. Because hopefully you draw the foul even if you don't get the basket.
Absolutely. And you can lean into them a little bit, too.
Sure.
You can absorb some contact and hopefully get a foul call.
And Banks just throws it off the hands of Domer. Banks over the summer will have to get stronger, have to be more aggressive.
Absolutely. And the future is very bright for her. We've seen her hit a few shots in this game, at least 1 3. And so the potential is there.
Yeah, Banks with 2 threes tonight. She's got 6 points. But she's definitely playing the one for Garden City. Mazatix backs back out when she didn't find the setup she wanted. Sanner with a hard pass into Mazatix. Mazatix lobs it into Terrell.
See, that was a great decision by Mazatix on that one. We were just talking about Banks beforehand needing to put that shot up. That was the right call there to make the pass. But it was just great help side defense by Reese, able to get that block.
So Sanner looking to get the ball in. Bounce pass in, stolen away by Annapolis. Oh, no travel call there. Let's see.
That looked like a tough ball for Reese there. It looked a little painful.
Was that a kickball call?
I believe that's what they're calling.
Roberts back in for Annapolis. Banks as Garden City will peel out and Gosden will bring it up this time. Oh, up ahead to Mazatix, who didn't even see it coming. Yeah, Mazatix had no idea that pass was coming, and Michelle Tyree will call timeout. She didn't like that. Garden City up only by 4 with 5:11 remaining.
Yeah, they've yet to score in this quarter. They're getting decent looks down on the other end, and it's just whether or not they're willing to take the shot when they have it. or there have been a few where they've really forced some shots as well.
There you see Brendan George. He's running ball follow here tonight on the lift provided by Gary Carter. We thank Gary Carter also for his help. That is Logan Kilbury with a self-portrait of himself behind him, apparently. There's Jason Merrill, the senior member of this Omni Edition crew, who seems to be enjoying that way too much, by the way. There is Zach Witt, who's been with us for just over a year now. It's the first time he's run handheld for a basketball game. Michelle Tyree with her troops. That's the guys out here. We want to thank everybody in the truck, including Amari Graham and Heaven Kale from the University of Michigan Dearborn, and then Zach King Furby in the truck. He's handing our replay and engineering, and Christian Gibbons, our producer director tonight for Cougar basketball as the Cougars take on Annapolis.
These are the moments here where you learn how to win if you're a young squad as well.
Sure. And Garden City with some other winnable games on their schedule the rest of the way. Doesn't go. The bounce did not go for Reese. Break for Garden City there because that was a pretty good shot. And finally, getting the ball over for Garden City is Mazatix. Towards the basket, doesn't go. Gosden with the rebound. Putback doesn't go. Battle underneath. Terrell outs it to Sanner. Sanner into the corner. And it goes off of Annapolis. Yeah, Garden City with games coming up against Thurston and another game against Annapolis. So a couple of 3 or 4 winnable games on their schedule for the rest of the way. And you turn around and you win 5 games this season after getting off to a rough start. And that's a good taste of leaving these girls' mouths going into the offseason.
And going into districts as well, because every team makes the playoffs, so you never know if you start to get some momentum heading into those playoff pairings. You could beat a team here
and you sneak up on somebody that's not expecting you. Off the high glass, won't go for Reese. Rebound Garden City. This is Sanner. Sanner stops just short of half court. Oh, that makes me nervous.
That was baffling to me. That did make me nervous as well.
So there's Mazatix. Left-hand dribble. Looking for some help. Gives it into the corner to Terrell. Doesn't go, but Mazatix gets the rebound, and that will go off of Annapolis out of bounds, and it will still be Garden City basketball with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter. There you see Garden City's upcoming games. They've got Thurston and Clarenceville still here at home. Garden City home for the entire month of January. Then they go to RU, Etzel, Annapolis again. Thurston, Clarenceville, they've got Summit Academy here at Garden City High School. Then they're at Dearborn and at District. So 2 more home games and then a long road trip for this Cougar basketball team.
And Sanner just turned the ball over because she stepped over the line when going to inbound it.
The league puts together the schedule, and I hate to see them do that. To
all
put a
home,
team,
then all
our
away.
Boys have been on the road the entire month of January. Our girls are at home the entire month of January. That's more or less just lazy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Putting the schedule together. And it'll go off of her foot out of bounds and be Garden City's ball. Because that can ruin your season by being on the road for a month at a time. And
absolutely, you could be facing quite a deficit in the win-loss column.
There's just no need for that. And there's Gosden. She picked up the loose ball. Mazatix thought about the 3. Kicks it back up to Banks. Garden City wants to run time off, but they can't go into a stall.
Absolutely, they still need baskets. They're yet to score in this quarter.
Gosden taking her time. Sanner on the move, knocked out of bounds by Annapolis. So Fleenery will come back into the game, and Meredith will check out. Garden City with Banks, Gosden, Sanner, Terrell. On the floor along with Mazatix. Banks bounce pass to Gosden. Gosden fires it in. A foul coming on Ivory Johnson. So Johnson picks up her first foul. 3rd against Annapolis.
This has been a relatively clean half in the foul department as well. We saw both teams get close.
That goes! Terrell with her first 3 of the evening. And Garden City up by 7 again. Dead silent in this gymnasium right now. Johnson feeds it inside, and Mazatix, I think, is going to get called for the foul. So Mazatix picks up her first. 6 on Garden City, so the next one is bonus. So Roberts will go to the line and shoot 2.
A little strong on that one.
And Amanda Knoll will come back in for board purposes for Garden City. And Chastity Terrell, who had a really nice run, will go to the bench for Garden City.
It was, and that 3 was huge at this point of the game. Like I was saying, they had not scored so far in this quarter, and that was exactly what they needed.
She's helped Garden City with that press break. You just see Knoll pull down the rebound. And she's shown Garden City a lot. As you see, that's stolen away by Annapolis. Domer, and Domer is fouled by Sanner. So penalty situation now is Garden City has 7. Annapolis will shoot the rest of the way with 2:25 remaining in this one.
And that looked like one that the officials could have let go. It looked like minimal contact on that play.
Domer with 2 on the evening will shoot 1 and 1. Correction, she has 4 on the evening. And she misses the front end. Rebound Garden City and Banks. Banks needs to hustle this over. She's got Gosden there to help her. Gosden gets it over half court. Same play that Gosden got trapped on the last play. Banks baseline. Bounce pass, dangerous bounce pass to Gosden. Gosden with the runner, doesn't get it to go. Good shot. Rebound Johnson. And Gosden's got to wake up. And she'll get called for the foul. Gosden was coming down the court a little unhappy with herself. And she mentally checked out of the play for a second. And then when that happened, Johnson came flying up on the wing. So Johnson will shoot 1 and 1. My mistake, this is Reese at the line. And Reese with kind of an unorthodox shot. Nice block there by Banks, I believe. It was all ball. I don't know if it was Banks or Gosden, but it was all ball. As you see, Garrett Simpson, the athletic director here at Garden City High School, in his 2nd year. So Alex Adams will come back into the game for Garden City. She's been on the bench with 3 fouls for a lot of this one. And Roberts having trouble with the dribble. Gets rid of it to Reese. Knocked away by Mazatix. Mazatix in traffic. Again, they stop at midcourt.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they do that, but it's very scary when they do it.
It's very troubling. They don't seem to have any court awareness to know that they're at midcourt. 1.5 minutes remaining. Stolen away by Mazatix, out of bounds. Garden City with a 7-point lead. Gosden will come back in.
Another bucket here for Garden City might seal this game.
Garden City just trying to survive this one, looking for their first win of the season. That does not go. Rebound Banks. Mazatix. She'll bring it up. She's got Gosden on the right wing in case she gets into trouble. And Annapolis will call, no, Garden City will call timeout. 7-point lead for the Cougars. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining.
So now's the time where if you are the Cougars, you can take your time on offense. Try and work the Annapolis defense as much as possible as we take a look at the Annapolis district pairings.
Annapolis, pretty pretty close to home at Divine Child with Ann Arbor, Gabriel Rashad, Divine Child, the Henry Ford Academy, and Ladywood in their last season of existence, I believe, unless they have 1 year after this.
I was just told today that was new to me that Ladywood was closing, and I live in Livonia, so I was not aware of that. But
Ladywood with a fantastic history and quite a heritage, and they'll be closing their doors as a lot of Catholic schools have closed a ton of Catholic elementary schools. And the obvious result of that is closing some high schools now.
Absolutely. The one just by my house, St. Damian's, closed down a year or two ago. And like you said, it's starting to leak into the high school realm now.
Big changes in high school, in public schools in Michigan, especially for athletics, with the advent of the charter schools, with kids and people moving farther and farther out and spreading all over the state and moving into areas that used to be rural now are the places to be. As we approach 1 minute remaining, bounce pass underneath the Banks, she lost the handle. So that was a case where Banks was really worried about scoring the basket before she had the ball.
Absolutely.
And she took off just a split second quick and didn't have the handle.
Now we got to see quick hands here from the Garden City defense. No easy shots. There's a long two from Reese there.
Put back finally bounces in for Fleenery. Her first basket of the night. And I believe Annapolis is calling the timeout, although there seems to be a question as to whether or not she wanted it. I'm not sure Annapolis meant to call that timeout, but they've got it. So 26-21. The Garden City Cougars on top. Garden City with 8 fouls. As you see, the Cougar junior varsity team that came up with a nice win here tonight before this one. As a matter of fact, it was about a 2.5-hour junior varsity game.
It was shocking. It ran a little long, but I mean, it was a great game. Came down to the wire, and our Cougars were able to pull it out.
You see some of the kids from Annapolis. That's from the Annapolis JV. Decent rivalry between these two schools. They've played each other a lot in this league configuration and played each other a lot prior to this configuration. Again, with Belleville, Etzel, Dearborn, and Fortson all leaving the Western Wayne Athletic Conference, they'll go to one division for everything next year. And nice for football, because then you only have to find a preseason opponent, an opening game, and a closing game, and the rest of your schedule is set for you. And in football, Garden City and Crestwood should do quite well along with Thurston in that new conference. Mazatix with a dribble. Mazatix runs into a lot of blue jerseys. Mazatix on the sideline, lost the ball out of bounds, and it'll be Annapolis's ball. Down by 5 with 37 seconds remaining. Actually, I think Mazatix expected more resistance on that sideline move. And when she didn't get it, she didn't have complete control of the basketball.
Yeah, they kind of pulled the chair on her a little bit there.
Johnson guarded by Little Miss Banks, and that one does not go. Putback doesn't go. Knoll battling down there. Jump ball, Garden City's possession. But a nice job by Jalen Banks to match up with Ivory Johnson and not be intimidated there.
And she's been doing that all night as well. She has not been afraid.
She gets it into Mazatix, who almost lost it out of bounds, but Mazatix with not a lot of help. Mazatix again on the sideline, gets it up to Gosden, and this one's over. Gosden goes to the hole, gets the bucket, and gets to shoot one. So Emma Gosden with her 4th point of the night. Garden City up by 7. And Michelle Tyree will pull everybody off of the free throw line, as Gosden will shoot one. So Emma Gosden, who averages 7 points a game for this Garden City, has 4 now. As Johnson picks up her 3rd. And after 9 consecutive losses at the beginning of the season for Garden City, it looks like the Cougars are going to pull out victory number 1 here tonight at Garden City High School, up by 8 with 12.5 seconds remaining. And Garden City will just lay back and let Annapolis bring it to them. And with the steal is Mazatix. She keeps it inbounds into Knoll. Time is going to run out as Gosden takes it to the basket. Doesn't go, but it doesn't matter. As Garden City comes game by any means, but Garden City gutted it out. They got a lead. They held on to the lead. They never let the lead up, and they put Annapolis away.
And the big difference was the three-point attempts that started to fall for Garden City. They were shooting early and often, like we said early. Coach Tyree wanted them to keep shooting. They started to fall, and that was the difference in this game.
All right, that is it from Garden City High School. So for Jeremy Jenkins and our producer-director, Christian Gibbons, this is Dan York saying so long. Again, the final score, Garden City 29, Annapolis 21. Thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.